Hello everybody, and welcome back to DC Central. I am your host, Deck, and today I am reporting on some very sad news. This is quite an interesting video because not only have I not made a video in about 8 months, but also this was not necessarily a video I was expecting to do as sort of my first one back in a while. And I'm not going to beat around the bush. Obviously I am a few days late with this video, as per usual. The Flash, our beloved The Flash, is going to be ending its run on the CW this year and running on into next year with the 9th and now final season of the show. Season 9 is going to be the final season, and I think this is something that a lot of us saw coming. Me certainly, you know, I said that, you know, just people I know and on Twitter and stuff like that, that if season 9 wasn't the final season, I would be shocked, and if it's not season 9, it will definitely be season 10. So I'm not shocked really that season 9 is the final season, especially when you look at, you know, all these other shows that we've had within the Arrowverse and also on the CW in general, just being cancelled, such as Legends of Tomorrow, which also got cancelled after its 7th season, and Batwoman, which got cancelled after its 3rd season. It's not really a shock to see that The Flash, you know, the kind of last bastion, the last remaining Arrowverse show to kind of meet its end. But the good thing to remember is that this show isn't cancelled. Don't believe all those articles, you know, all the trades and stuff like that, well, at least these sort of more non-reliable clickbaity trades are doing what they always do, which is that they, you know, they did it with Arrow and they also did it with Supergirl, where they're like, oh, the show's cancelled, it's over, it's been cancelled, it's been canned, and that's not the case. The Flash has not been cancelled. The Flash is ending. There is a big difference. The showrunners, the writers, and the executives all they chose to end the show here, and they now get to write the ending that they want and get to go out on their own terms, rather than Legends of Tomorrow and Batwoman, which both were cancelled, so have just been left on cliffhangers, which is just really annoying. So yeah, this is quite a sad time, really. Not only because The Flash is certainly one of my favourite TV shows of all time, not only is it sad that that's ending, but as I sort of alluded to before, this is the last show of the Arrowverse. After this show, the Arrowverse is gone. It's over. And that is really sad. And that's for a couple of reasons. Not just because, you know, I love the Arrowverse, you know, I always have. It's been such a huge part of my life for a long time. So to see, you know, it all kind of fall apart this year really has been really sad. Obviously we've had shows come and go, like obviously Arrow went a couple of years ago, which is obviously my favourite show of all time. Supergirl went last year, Black Lightning also went last year, and then obviously this year we had Batwoman and Legends of Tomorrow both get cancelled, and then we had the announcement of Superman and Lois, which we all thought was in the Arrowverse, but it has now been revealed that it's not, and it's in its own standalone universe parallel to the Arrowverse, and it's not part of the Arrowverse, but it has connections to, and it kind of, you know, it goes against certain things we were told in Superman and Lois season 1, but I digress. And now as the final nail in the coffin, The Flash is ending. You know, when that announcement came from the Superman and Lois season 2 finale that it does not take place in the Arrowverse, we were all kind of like, well, The Flash is the last one standing. And now The Flash is going, so, you know, not only is it just sad that, you know, this TV universe that's been built for over a decade is now ending, but also the Arrowverse means so much to me. You know, it's this TV universe that I have been making videos on for a good few years now, and it's kind of responsible for me really getting into YouTube in the way that I have. I mean, obviously, I've been way less consistent on YouTube in the last couple of years, and I always apologize for that. It's just, you know, a mixture of different things, my life changing, jobs changing, etc. But, you know, I have had so many great memories thanks to the Arrowverse, not only because of the shows themselves, but also due to how it's affected my life, not only in terms of YouTube, but in terms of people I've met, podcasts I've done. You know, it led me really to go to conventions where I got to meet people and, you know, meet the stars of the show and stuff like that, and they're some of my favorite days of my life, and, you know, so that means a lot to me. So anyway, all the sappy stuff kind of out of the way, let's talk about the actual show itself. Eric Wallace, who is of course our showrunner, of The Flash, he did release a statement regarding this, and it reads as follows. 9 seasons, 9 years of saving Central City while taking audiences on an emotional journey full of heart, humour and spectacle. And now Barry Allen has reached the starting gate for his last race. So many amazing people have given their talents, time and love to bring this wonderful show to life each week. So as we get ready to honour the show's incredible legacy with our exciting final chapter, I want to say thank you to our phenomenal cast, writers, producers and crew over the years who helped make The Flash such an unforgettable experience for audiences around the world. So, like I say, that came from Eric Wallace, who is, of course, our showrunner. Grant Gustin, who, of course, plays The Flash, did also release, like, a little video message on Instagram with his reaction, which was also really, really sad, because everyone's kind of describing this final season as the final run, which I think is really, really sad. But everyone seems really happy about it, you know, everyone seems really content, you know, with the fact that the show hasn't been cancelled. It's, you know, they are writing their own ending. And I'm really excited to see what they actually do with it, because I think they have so many options. You know, The Flash being kind of a time travel heavy show, they could do something really wild, or they could do something kind of a lot more peaceful. I do hope, obviously, that this final season, and I'm sure they're going to do this, is going to honour the legacy of the show, similarly to what Arrow did with its final season. Obviously, everyone knows on this channel I'm not necessarily the biggest fan of Arrow Season 8, but one thing I did like about it was the fact that it really did honour the legacy of the show and kind of what it did, not only for the show itself, but the larger Arrowverse as a whole, because obviously without Arrow, we wouldn't have the Arrowverse. So I hope with this final season of The Flash, you know, we get lots of returning characters, we get lots of, you know, awesome callbacks and stuff like that, and I'm sure we're going to get that. You know, if Arrow is anything to go by, The Flash should do the same. In terms of the actual storyline, it could be anything at this point. I mean, like I say, Arrow in its final season kind of built the final season around the crossover in this kind of big overarching story, which, like I say, I wasn't a huge fan of, but that's sort of how they did it. They could do something similar here, but obviously we do know that there isn't a big crossover event happening at this time, at least as far as we know. They could do something similar to what they did in Season 8, where they did Armageddon at the beginning. They could do something like that and do like a mini sort of event crossover at the beginning of the season, or maybe towards the end, or in the I don't know. They could do, you know, something like Armageddon, but do it at the beginning. They could do something similar, or they could just sort of build the final season around this central storyline. Obviously, the way The Flash has kind of been breaking up its stories following Eric Wallace coming in is it's been breaking down into its own graphic novels, as he calls it, so kind of like separate chapters. But with The Flash Season 9, the main difference with it is that this is going to be a 13 episode run, so that is a much reduced episode count from what we've had in the past. So it's going to be a much shorter, much tighter season, so I could see them perhaps maybe just doing one storyline throughout it, or potentially two. It depends exactly what they want to do for this final season. So yeah, in terms of the story, I don't know. It could be anything. And in terms of the ending, like I say, I think it's going to go one or two ways. It's either going to be completely wild, or it's going to be, you know, really chill. Because they could do that thing that a lot of people have spoken about, where Barry kind of becomes the lightning that strikes him, you know, in 2014. They could do that. They could tie it into the, you know, I was going to say, you know, potentially they could tie it into this larger Crisis thing that has always been teased, but obviously I think they kind of have already done that, you know, with Crisis on Infinite Earths. That was kind of that. And obviously they retconned a bunch of stuff, so I think that is kind of out of the window. I think had they not done Crisis on Infinite Earths by this point, I would have said that's where this was going. And if the Arrowverse was kind of in better shape than it is now, then maybe. Especially because there was always this talk around 2024, but that seems like that's definitely not happening now. So yeah, I think it's either he becomes the lightning that strikes him in 2014, or it could be something completely different. But yeah, I think The Flash, you know, taking its time to actually write this final season and to get it to end in a way that's satisfying for not only the people making it, but the fans as well, is really, really important, and I'm really excited to see what they actually do with it. Now, one final thing to talk about is the future of this channel, because obviously this channel mostly is built around the Arrowverse, and with this ending, it kind of leaves this channel in a bit of a strange limbo. And obviously, like I say, it's been in a bit of a strange limbo for a while anyway, to be fair. But what am I going to be doing with this channel, or what do I plan to do it? Well, I'm going to do my best to review The Flash Season 9, purely for the fact that obviously it is the final season. I want to give it a good send-off in the same way that the writers do. And I want to be here. I want to be in the conversation. I want to be involved for this final season. So I'm going to do my best to be here and review The Flash Season 9. Obviously, I did say I was going to do that with Season 8 as well, and that went out the window. So, like I say, I'm not promising anything, but it's what I plan to do. You know, like I say, my life is very different now, and I struggle to make videos, but I'm going to do my best to actually be here to make these videos. But beyond that, when The Flash actually does end, what am I going to be doing? Honest answer, I'm not too sure yet. It could be a couple of different things. For one, I was thinking of potentially turning this channel into a home for my podcast, which I do on my other channel, which I do with, you guys know them as, you know, Dan McCants and Dan Finn. That podcast I do with them. Potentially turning this into a home for that. Or alternatively, I might turn this channel into something a bit more general. Obviously, this channel has always been fairly niche. It's been specifically about the Arrowverse and not much more than that. I was thinking of maybe turning it into a bit more of a general kind of comic booky channel, you know, where I talk about other DC shows, Marvel shows, Marvel movies, DC movies, stuff like that, and even other stuff like maybe potentially, you know, like The Boys, The Umbrella Academy, other cool comic book shows that I enjoy, potentially making it a home for that sort of stuff. So if you guys have any ideas, make sure you let me know in the comments down below. If there's any, you know, video suggestions you'd like me to do, or any kind of video topics you would like me to focus on going forward, then let me know in the comments down below. I would love to hear your thoughts. I'm open to ideas, because like I say, I'm a little bit stuck with this channel now, in regards to what to do with it. But I don't want it to go away, because obviously, like I say, I still have a passion for doing YouTube. I still have a passion for making videos. I just don't have as much time to do it anymore as I once did. But I still want to make quality content for you guys. So make sure you let me know in the comments what you would like to see me do in the future. But with all that said, like I say, it's a sad time. But it's bittersweet, you know. The Flash has been a huge part of my life. The Arrowverse has been a huge part of my life. So to see it come to an end now, it is sad. But I'm just really happy that, you know, The Flash does actually get its own ending, especially because we've had so many cancellations recently. I was getting worried that maybe The Flash was just going to, you know, get on the chopping block and go, you know, with Warner Brothers Discovery and taking over the whole DC thing. Obviously, we've had the cancellation of Batgirl recently, like the film, which was just tragic, absolutely awful. The fact that that was allowed to happen, and the fact that, you know, the cast and crew didn't find out until it was announced online, and, you know, that film that was basically done, all the, you know, hours of blood, sweat and tears that were poured into that movie have just, you know, not been considered at all and have just been cut completely, is really, really sad. So I was worried about The Flash, but the fact that we are getting that final season does mean a lot. But what do you guys think? What are your thoughts on this final season? Are you excited for it? Are you worried about it? You know, what do you think is going to happen in it? Just let me know all your thoughts on it in the comment section down below. And make sure you subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell, so the next time in a blue moon, when I do upload a video, you'll know first about it. And I hope to see you guys again next time.